Hey y'all, it's me, Celeste again. So I haven't been posting as much today. It's getting close to my birthday. My birthday is September 2nd. Yeah. So I've been pretty busy with like doing this, hanging out with my mom yesterday, and today is my birthday party with my family and my boyfriend later today, so I have to get ready for that. So I have time right now to do this right now. So the first story is called I found my daughter who's a 12-year-old female. Horrific hidden social media account. Help! I have an app that's supposed to prevent her from downloading social media and notify me if she does. I don't know what changed, but it alerted me that she had posted on this app. When I opened the notification, I found a very public Euro account with hundreds of followers and thousands of views. As I went through her phone tonight, the app alerted me to everything I was doing. I don't know why it's suddenly telling me everything. Most of the content was extremely explicit and sexually suggestive. My daughter has always been extremely prudish. She cried when I signed a permission slip for sex ed. This was so unexpected, the content was really traumatizing for me. What was worse? The comments. She openly admitted her age, but there were so many comments from people admitting they were over 20 having sexual conversations with her. Literally hundreds of comments. They would try to get her to chat outside of the app, and I found two conversations out of the app. I found two conversations outside of the app. She gave these people information about where we live and where she goes to school. The worst part is that she shared pictures of friends and family in her posts in the private conversation. She's in therapy for thoughts of self-harm. I've called the police and we're filing a report. I plan to notify the school and the other parents, but I'm so scared of what the fallout of all this will do to my daughter's mental health. I'm going to call for an emergency appointment with her therapist tomorrow. Am I making the right choice too? Am I making the right choice to tell the other parents? I'm worried she'll be socially isolated. She has such a hard time making friends, and that contributed to her mental health struggles. Plus, word will spread around the school. What are my next steps? I'm so overwhelmed I can't formulate how to work through this. I'm also struggling to figure out the proper punishment for this. Obviously, she's lost the phone and other devices, but what else should I do about this? Also, is there a better app that you can recommend? I'm not happy with the current app for obvious reasons. Update, 9 days later. It's been a little over a week since my last post. The first thing I want to say is thank you. So, thank you for your support. You all really helped me calm down and help me and have helpful tips to approach the situation. To answer the question of which app, it was YouTube. The videos themselves are taken suggestively, but the screen remained mostly closed. The photos and written posts she shared were more graphic. What happened with the police? The first officer I spoke to was very helpful. The officer I spoke to when I arrived at the police department refused to make a report. He told me that if they didn't specifically ask her for sexual favors, no crime had been committed. He also said there was nothing he could do about her sharing her location. Her school/friends, I can't recall the handles of the two people whose advice I followed. Just know I genuinely appreciate it. I called the principal and told her I had found a hidden social media account. I then told her two people had been I told her two people I've been messaging my daughter outside of the app that concerned me. I told her school uniforms were shown in photos and told her the names of the students my daughter shared pictures and details of. She was surprised but told me she would handle it without going into details. The school has on-duty police who have been monitoring the children more closely. According to my daughter, they added some internet safety classes during study periods as well. There have been no changes in their friend group. They all know the details my daughter chose to share with them. They talked about it for a day or so, but quickly moved on. What we choose to do for discipline, many people reached out to me both in the comments and privately sharing their stories. Many had done the same thing my daughter had. Thank you for being brave enough to share your stories. These people told me how their parents responded and how that affected them. This helped me formulate my plan of action. One thing the comments on my post leaned toward is that she was looking for attention. After speaking with her about this, I've dedicated 2 hours of one-on-one time with her each night. We've gone on walks, played board games, had long discussions, and gone for walks. The only real punishment is that she lost her phone for a month. After reading the comments, I felt giving her love and support was the best way to approach the situation. Therapy. We had our emergency appointment with our therapist last week. I told her about the post and specific comments that made me think, but I didn't know how to respond to them. She helped me work through it. She agrees that support is a way to handle the situation. My daughter has been able to clearly communicate what she did wrong and she's taking accountability. One comment had asked, wouldn't it have been better if I had allowed her to have social media so I could monitor it and know what's happening? Especially since she went behind my back and the thing I was most afraid of happening to her on social media happened. In discussing this with her therapist, we decided that if she works toward regaining trust over the next 6 months, we'll allow her to get an account. I'll have access and be monitoring it for her safety. It'll be private and restricted so only her friends can access it. We were supposed to meet with the therapist again today, which is why I've been waiting to update. We're going to go over some topics she wanted to sit with and consult with colleagues. And then she'd have a private conversation with my daughter. Unfortunately, the therapist canceled because she was sick. I'll update again if anything relevant happens after we visit with the therapist again. Thank you all again for your support, advice, and kindness. Those of you who pointed out mistakes I've made in my parenting are also appreciated. Those of you who shared your stories, I'm sorry that you went through that. I'm glad most of you have been able to heal. I think it's important you know you're not alone and you didn't deserve the things that happen. This surprisingly turned into something that really allowed me to bond with my girl. She's been more open with me and appreciative of the support she's getting, not just from me, but other family members. Our support system really circled around her. She expressed that she's grateful and sees how important she is to our family, how much we all love her. Aw, I hope we get to see an update from this because I really want to see if she's actually doing well. So, yeah, I just followed that channel so that I can see there's another update to that. So, push that bell icon so that you can get notifications about whether there's an update to that story or not, okay? And here's another one called My Wife, a 20-year-old female found out that my mother, a 59-year-old female, and I, a 20-year-old male, have been lying to her about me and my wife's baby, a 0-month-old, for months. This all went down about an hour ago, and my wife is still crying in our bathroom with the door locked. Backstory. We had our son, now 11 months old, while my wife is in residency. She took a few weeks off before giving birth, and then went back to work a few months after, while I transitioned my hours to part-time so that I could stay at home, and raise our son. My mom moved in with us shortly after birth in order to help out, which allows me to get in a few hours of work per day and also not get swamped with taking care of the baby / housework. She's quite old-fashioned and would definitely not prefer this arrangement with me being a stay-at-home dad, but she hasn't said anything to either of us and has been a great help. For anyone unfamiliar with medical residency, it is brutal. My wife has just over a year left. Sometimes she comes and goes for 1 to 3 days, and our son is asleep the whole time she's home, which has been happening more as his sleep schedule shifted to sleeping through the night. My mom and I make sure that when she's home and the baby's awake, my wife gets him 100%. I know it's been hard on her, but unfortunately it's just going to be this way for another year. The first big milestone she missed was him rolling over. When she got home, my mom pulled her over to the baby. All excited. I thought she was going to tell her, but instead she said, "Julie, you came home right on time. He's been moving about as if he's going to roll over." They both stood there encouraging him, and right on cue, he rolls. My wife was elated. She was so worried and guilty about not being there, and she took it as proof that she could still be a present mother while working. So we continue. I send texts over little things she misses through the day so that it's not completely unbelievable, but my wife has been present for every single big milestone. He coincidentally started crawling with her right there. His first words were perfect, and he began standing, cruising, and walking when she happened to be home. The walking one was difficult. There was a tough 7-day stretch where she just wasn't home during the daytime when he was awake, and his walking went from teetering to walking a couple of steps pretty confidently in that time. We put little beanbags in one of his pants pockets so he'd be wobbly and unbalanced, and it looked believable since he fell after the first step like he was doing weekly. Yes, it was mean to our poor son, but my wife's face was worth it. Today it all unraveled. So far, he could just say Mama, Dada, and Nana. Yesterday he started saying bye-bye. My wife has today off and has been home all morning. My mom and I have been trying to get him to say bye all day without giving away that we didn't know he could say bye. Successfully got him to say bye to the ducks at the park, and we both gushed over his newest word the whole way home. My wife was using my phone to take pictures of him and began showing my mom at home while telling her about his newest word acquisition. She was swiping through my gallery and saw a video. He goes, "Oh, you never sent me this one." It's literally like a slow motion film happening in front of my eyes. I had taken the video from yesterday waving bye-bye. My wife is an idiot. She figured the whole ruse out pretty much instantly. I've never seen her look so sad and heartbroken before. I couldn't say or do anything to comfort her. Now she's locked herself in the bathroom crying and won't come out. I'm on our bed hoping someone could please tell me what to do to make this better. Update 3 days later. Don't think anyone would particularly care about an update, but I appreciate the insanity. So here's an update. After I wrote the original post, my mom took my son to stay overnight with my wife's sister so that the two could have the house to ourselves. We pretty much just talked for an hour while constantly reaffirming that we love each other a lot and want to sort this out. I apologized and explained why I did what I did. She said that feeling like she was there for our son's milestone was really just a band-aid solution that didn't actually convince her she was pissed. She said that if she actually had been using the milestone to feel like she was present, this would probably have felt worse for her. But since she wasn't in her words, deluding herself into thinking she's actually home, her making she was at a lie, which hurt her feelings. I apologized, explaining that I honestly thought that she would prefer the line if given the choice. She said she understood where I was coming from and that she felt betrayed, which she realized, but she sees that I was doing it because I love her and she thinks we'll probably laugh about it with our grandkids one day. Yes, I am very aware I don't deserve my wife. Some things came out on my end that I wasn't going to tell and didn't mention in my last post. Namely, that I'm scared she's going to become suicidal. My uncle committed suicide when I was a child, and apart from working a high-stress job where he made a huge and costly mistake. One of my wife's colleagues attempted suicide while she was on mat leave. Being a working mom is bad enough. Being arrested in this program is bad enough. Both combined are a recipe for trouble. Since our son was born and the incident with a colleague happened, I've been afraid that if her home life wasn't perfect, it would push her over the edge. Anyway, she reassured me that's not happening, and I think saying it out loud also made me realize it's pretty irrational, groundless. It's a pretty irrational, groundless fear. We are to take out a sat together watching the real videos I have of all of our sons first. I also have a special folder of pictures and videos of my son with my wife, so he went through that after. She almost choked from laughing so when I tentatively revealed the beanbag trick. I am the laughing stock of a friend group chat. So I guess we're already at the stage where we're laughing about it. Thank you to those who responded to the last post. The stereotype someone in r/relationships advocating divorce every time anything happens is true. Too long didn't read. Marriage is work. Are you stupid? We moved past it. Oh my god. Okay, so his wife is such a keeper. Cause I mean, like, wow. He lied to her about their son's first word, first time walking, first everything. I mean, like, I would have been upset too if my husband lied to me about about our child's first, if me and my boyfriend ever do have kids. But anyways, I would be upset, but instead she took it with stride and just moved past it. She's like, and he only lied to her because he didn't want her to commit suicide, because here he had two people commit suicide. And he was really worried that that was going to happen with his wife. So, yeah, I'm glad they were able to. This one's called I Hate My Ex-Husband and His Wife. Plus the 2 years update. I just got a long email from my kid's stepmom pretty much telling me that she doesn't mind giving the kids extra clothing to go to school so long as they get it back from my house, because the issue isn't who bought it, but the issue is getting decent clothing back. At the same time, I get a text message from my ex-husband berating me because I didn't clip my son's fingernails on this street because I can't find my nail clippers. I have a household of 5 and I'm the only income. My kids don't get brand new clothing at my house. My kids have to wear their clothing until it's threadbare because I can't afford to run out and get the new clothes, or even to go to Goodwill and get them clothes all the time. I do the best I can on an income of $42,000 for a family of 5. I don't get child support for my ex-husband, and between him and his wife, they make 80 to 90 grand a year depending on how busy his business is. I'm currently in college trying to get my bachelor's degree. It's not cheap or easy to try to do that and work full time, take care of my kids. And in return, the two of them always, the, the two of them always point out what I'm doing wrong, how my kids are suffering because I'm in school and I can't spend a lot of time with them, and just generally picking them apart. I hate that. I'm trying so hard to hold it all together and do the best I can. It's never enough. And I really, truly feel hatred for those two, and I hate it. I'm sorry for my rant. If my rant doesn't make sense right now, I have to use talk to text because my phone screen is cracked and it doesn't read my finger tapping correctly. Thank you for giving me a space, a moment to get that off my chest and rant a little bit. Update. 2 years and 2 months later. I made a post here 2 years ago. I originally posted how I hated my ex-husband and his wife. I have an update or several. 1. I'm an RN now. My kids have new clothes, and thanks to your advice, I was able to keep them in really nice clothes until I was able to afford new stuff. 2. I have a boyfriend. This is relevant. My ex made fraudulent claims about him to DCF. He was eventually told if he continued, then the police would be involved. He still has moments where he slips up, but he's been more helpful and less condescending about a lot. Okay, so he has to be on his best behavior if he doesn't want to be found out about doing fraudulent stuff, whatever that is. Let me see if in the comments. A commenter said, if he makes that much money, why aren't you getting child support? OP said, because on paper, I make more than him because he doesn't report his full earnings. And I have no way of proving that. I've been through this for the last 4 years. I only have 2 children in common with him, and on paper I make almost double what he makes, and they don't look at his wife's income. Where's the other father of the older kids? Deceased. He passed away in 2016. Did the ex turn the kids against OOP? OOP. He plays phase with the twins, boy and girl, and my daughter is starting to notice. His own actions are turning against him. I'll never speak poorly of him to them, and when he does show to events like their birthday party this year, I make it a point to tell them he was really sick or something along those lines. Life's hard enough and they don't need to feel unwanted or not important by my words or actions. OOP on her oldest kid's having a job. My 15-year-old does. He's saving for a car. He's my oldest. He has to be 14 here to hold a job, so my middle has another year. OOP, I'm blocking this woman. She has my number blocked, which is why she emails me. She blocked me after my daughter said stepmom pulled her hair when she was mad at her. I asked her to explain, and she blocked my number. Turns out she brushed my daughter's hair roughly and pulled it because my daughter was refusing to listen that morning. Not even remotely okay, but legally I was told no crime was committed and I could have it documented, but that was it. By the way, I did have it documented. Additional information from OOP after reading comments. I'll report them to the IRS again. The vast majority of you are amazing and I really appreciate your suggestion. It can't hurt to keep reporting. For the extreme few say I shouldn't have had kids if I couldn't afford them. I was fine. They got married, became a stay-at-home mom with my twins, my youngest. We moved to a new state where I had zero family or support, but he had his family. Then after a year Then after a year there, he cheated on me. When we finally divorced, everything was split 50-50. Guess what? We had no savings, and with only his income, I didn't walk out with much. I hate that I have shared custody where I have to deal with someone who verbally and mentally abused me. I love the suggestion of the co-parenting app, and will be looking into it more. Oh, opinion on her ex-parents' child support. We have 50-50 custody. I technically make more than him. So that's all. Okay. So yeah. So her ex-husband has to be on good behavior if he doesn't want to be reported. Again. She's like, okay, I'll be on my best. Okay, I'll be on my best behavior. Just don't report me. Please, please. Okay, so please rate, comment, and subscribe down below. And don't forget to push that bell notification. Don't forget to push that bell icon so that you get notification when I post. Okay, bye.